And I find over the course of many years helping agents, that's been a big issue. So we are going to discuss that today. Just paying for it. Yeah, exactly. Don't feel bad if you're one of those people. I hope that today will sort you out and will get you started on actually using a CRM, because it's gold. But we will, discuss a few things about CRMs. So I wanted to thank Remax Crest for sponsoring this. I'm not sure how long they're going to be doing it. So I think a lot of you guys came from the email. It looks like it comes from me, but it actually comes from Remax Crest because you're on their list. So if you want to join my list in case they stop doing this, promoting these webinars, you go to agenttechmastery.com and wait a couple seconds and it'll pop up. Actually, Ray, if you could maybe put that in the chat for everybody, you can do it later, or you can email Ray to ask. He is Ray, R-A-Y, at Darci, D-A-R-C-I, talks.com. He'll put that in the chat, and then you can join our newsletter, and I do lots of free webinars, so you'll always be notified as well. Okay, all right, let's get going. So I know I do at least one webinar a month to help you guys out, and it's always around systems and technology and apps. And so you really have to kind of run your business like a business. And I find most agents don't. And Ray, can you double check that link? Because I actually changed that. We haven't had our meeting yet. I've actually changed that. So they have to go to agenttechmastery.com, as I said. No, I don't think that list works anymore. You'll have to double check. So let Ray test that before you go there. Okay. That one that says Kartra. Okay. So about me, I literally love doing this. I've coached thousands of agents since 2010. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I was on TV for 3 seasons teaching tech tips. I have written lots of articles, newspapers, magazines, been on radio shows all around technology and systems. And I used to, before COVID, speak at countless real estate conferences around North America. I absolutely love doing this, and I love speaking, so I can't wait. Probably isn't going to be for till 2022, I'm guessing. But hey, if you guys have a brokerage that is interested in, you have weekly sales meetings, shoot me an email or Ray an email, and let's hook me up with your managing broker, and we can speak at your office via Zoom. All right. Okay. I also won the prestigious Top 100 Women Changing the Shape of Real Estate by Real Estate Professional magazine. That was quite an honor. And you know what? Love doing this. There's so many success stories in when you get your systems sorted and organized. You know what I mean, right? Like how much time do you waste trying to find your stuff, not having your CRM set up properly, or paying for a CRM or not using it. And we'll talk about that all today. Okay. Okay. First off, let's talk about what is a CRM, because you'll see we always say, if you're in real estate forums and groups, people will talk about CRMs. And, sometimes you just don't know. So let's clarify what a CRM is. It's client relationship management software. And it does a lot of things, but basically it helps you speed up routine processes and stay in touch with clients and prospective clients. So you know how sometimes like you got to send the same email to that person and that person and that person, and that's kind of crazy that you have to think about what to say, but you're saying the same thing. So a CRM will help you with that, because it'll have base letters or generic letters that you customize to send to those types of people. Okay. And again, as we've got more people here, please, please, please ask questions while we're here, please. Take advantage of all the knowledge I have about how CRMs sync and what you should be doing with them, and top-down business building. And so in the chat, just say hello and ask your question, okay? And I will try and look at it, but like I said, Ray will be looking at it as well, and Ray will interrupt me at any time, I don't care, and ask me to answer the question, okay? Okay. A CRM keeps you in touch with your clients, and you get more repeat and referral business. And we know this is true, right? If you keep in touch with people, they will use you. Otherwise, some other agent's keeping in touch with them, and it's a sad story. All right, because you can't rely on your memory to do this. It nurtures and converts leads into clients because you're keeping in touch. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the things about software in general, because I get this question all the time, is about, well, how do you choose what's good software. Because asking in a forum and having people say, hey, what CRM is the best? And some guy says top producer, but then he's just paying for it and doesn't use it. That's not good, right? So this is what I do when I'm looking at software. And I've been researching and testing software for, I hate saying this now, it's probably about 30 years. And especially now that I've been in with the real estate agents and testing software you guys use, we know that nothing will do 100% of what you want it to do, generally speaking, right? You might want it to do, I don't know, SMS texting, and it doesn't, but it hits all the other marks and it's awesome. So nothing is perfect, okay? It might be, and if it is, awesome, but go in when you're looking at software that nothing is perfect. I also, the key thing is excellent support. So some of the ones that you guys have mentioned, their support isn't necessarily good, okay? And I am key on support, because if you're in the middle of trying to do something with that piece of software and you need help now, you don't want to wait 7 days or however long it takes them to get back to you. All right, does that make sense? Let me see, I see a question. Of all those ARMs available, which do you recommend most? And why is that? ARMs. Oh, now I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean by ARMs? Is that a typo? Let me know. The other thing, and this is where my knowledge comes in, because for again, way too many years than I even want to tell you, I have been working with how email works. So email is email, contacts, calendar. That's if you have an email address, you've got email, you've got contacts, you've got calendar, you've got email folder structure. And if it's a properly configured business email, it should integrate with that software. And so what I mean by integrate, we'll talk about this a little bit more, okay? But what I mean by that is, wouldn't it be awesome if you update your phone, any phone, and it updates the CRM and anything else that you touch? You add a calendar appointment to your phone, it adds it to the CRM calendar and anywhere else you touch. Most people are not set up to do that, okay? And a lot of CRMs don't do this. So it's like, otherwise you're managing multiple databases, which we'll talk about. Okay. That makes sense, you guys? Are you guys there? Again, I love it when you chat with me, so I don't feel like I'm just chatting at you and talking to you. You hate data entry. Yeah, I'm with you. But wouldn't it be great if you enter it once and it updates everywhere? Because it's totally possible. And this is the thing about CRMs that you have to understand, okay? So I always get this question, what should a good CRM do? And I'll tell you from my experience, what it should do is it should manage multiple types of relationships. So an example would be, you've got prospective buyers and prospective sellers, and actual buyers and actual sellers. And you would say different things to the different types of people, the different types of relationships. Does that make sense? So if you have prospective buyers, you should have a prospective buyer drip campaign. And by drip, we mean a sequential set of emails and tasks to do for that particular type of client. All right. Every CRM that is out there for real estate, okay, for real estate will have real estate drip campaigns. They might call them something else, like activity plans, drips, something like that. Let me just see, 100%. What do you think of KV Core? We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. I do research all the different, most of them. I mean, there's hundreds of CRMs, but I have a whole list of ones that I've looked at. And I'll tell you what you should be asking them, actually. That's the key thing. Thanks for giving dummy like me a chance to, oh, you're selling your house right now. Oh, no dummies. You know what? I really think that, I know this stuff because I've been doing it for decades and I love doing it, but how could you possibly know all this stuff? That's why we're here today. All right. I'm here to help you understand what CRMs are good and how your system should be set up in order for it to work properly. Okay. So again, a good CRM should allow you to manage multiple types of relationships that you have. All right. That makes sense, right? Okay. And buyers who bought. Here's the thing. Here's what we do. And I will tell you how amazing doing this drip is. We've created a drip in our CRM, And what it is the buyers, the key date that the buyers get the keys, the date's in there, and the drip is on the date, the possession date, the key date. So what happens is we create the drip, and if you were going to do this, you personalize everything. You never, if I can say this, please remember, you will never, ever use a generic drip campaign. You will personalize it. You will Danielize it, Alina-ize it, Tara-ize it, right? I would Darci-ize it. It has to sound like it's coming from me, or they will know it's a drip. Otherwise, trust me, they will not know, okay? So a buyer bought, we have a 10-year drip. Because we know average is what, 7-8 years in a home, but we figured 10 is sometimes, people stay for 20 years sometimes, but we have a 10-year drip. So a bunch of things happen in the first year. Year one, an email that says, hey, Joe, can you believe you've been in your house for a year? How's it going? How can I help you? That's it. And then a reminder for you to text, call, however your relationship is with that buyer, to text, call, DM, PM, however you're going to do that, okay? Then another few touch points throughout the year. Then year two. Hey, can you believe you've been in your house for 2 years? I can't believe it's been that long. Hey, can I help you? All value add to the client. What do you think about that? What do you think? Would that be amazing? Come on, you guys, type in the chat, because I can tell you that people who use the drips like this rarely have to go do Facebook ads, lead gen systems, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on other stuff, okay? Keeping in touch with your clients, if you don't, somebody else will, all right? So important. Okay, now, how do you think that we know, like, where do you think you put these categories or labels? I was just going through this and then, is that the right sentence? Okay, so think about how we know who these people are. So again, in this perfect system setup, if your systems are set up perfectly, what we do is we categorize people or label. We kind of use that term interchangeably because different systems call it different things, but you have a contact, and they could be a buyer, they could be a seller, they could be a lawyer or a vendor. You can have like 30 different labels for one person, but when you go to send them to a drip, you can say all prospective buyers get this email, or all prospective sellers are going to get this email blast. Does that make sense? Okay, so awesome. And I can tell you it is worth setting up drip campaigns. Okay, a good CRM also allows you to remind you to do whatever you set up the drip, and you might want to call every week, and you can set up a reminder to do so. So it allows you to customize it how you work. All right. So you can customize any drip, any sequence to be how you work. Okay. It can remind you to call the client. It can add drip campaigns. Again, you can label and categorize your people. Does that make sense? Any questions so far, you guys? I don't see any questions. Okay, perfect. It can track your revenue and sales. It can do a lot of things. Now, those are just kind of top things, right? Some CRMs have more bells and whistles, but most of them have what I just talked about, okay? Now, the thing about a good CRM from the technical standpoint is that it's got to sync. It has to keep all your contacts, personal and business, synchronized and up to date. Right? That's where we're saying if you update the CRM contact, it should update your phone contact. And Outlook if you use, and MacMail if you use, the webmail contacts if you use, whatever you're actually, however you're viewing your email that is associated with that CRM. That makes sense? Okay, awesome. All right, let's keep going here. So you want to update your contacts info once. Now, I always think it's kind of insane, but it's mostly because you don't know how it should be set up. But if you're running multiple databases and you update your phone contact, you ran into Joe at the store and Joe says, oh, you know what, I got a new phone number, or I have a new email address, and you update on your phone, then you have to remember to go update it in all your other spots because stuff is not set up properly. Your business is not set up properly. And trying to remember to do that, your stuff is probably all mucked up all over the place, right? Okay, so that's a reason. We'll talk about email in a minute. Now, I want to recap that. Oh my goodness, sorry. Let me just move some stuff out of the way here. That every time you get a prospective seller, you have to compose an email. And I'm sure at some point you said, I did that last time. Now let me go and try and find that email and I'll just adjust it, right? Well, what a waste of time that is, right? You're searching through emails trying to find it. And then 5 years later, right, that past client, are they going to remember you? Probably not. Not if you're not keeping in touch. I'll tell you a story, and this, I always ask this to people. So we were on holidays last year when you could be on holidays. And we met someone on the beach and we became friends with them and we're at dinner one night with them. And she asked what I did. And I said, well, actually, I'll ask you a question. I said, who's your, have you ever bought and sold a house? And she says, oh yeah, we sold our place about 5 years ago and they bought a new place. So they sold the place. And I said, well, if you're going to sell your place again, would you use the same agent? She says, yeah, I really liked him. And I said, what's his name? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And then she's looking in her phone, trying to look for a realtor or whatever. She couldn't remember. The whole time we kept seeing her, she didn't know who the agent was. So do you think she's going to use him again? No. If that's you, you are losing so much money because you're not keeping in touch with your past clients, okay? Okay, so let me just see. That's why you don't use Top Producer. Well, I don't love Top Producer, but Top Producer actually could integrate and sync. So we'll talk about why yours isn't though, okay, Elena, when we get to that part. Okay, so a good CRM, again, will remind you to call the client or text them or private message them or direct message, whatever way they like to communicate, not you. Whatever way, can I say this again? Whatever way they like to communicate, not the way you like to communicate. All right, let's keep going. And we want this all automated. Now, automation doesn't mean that it has to be generic. We customize every single drip campaign that we ever do is customized, okay, to make it sound like Terry, myself, whoever I'm sending it to, right? Does that make sense? I'm going to say this again. I know I said it before, but I've seen agents do this and it drives me bonkers. Do not use default drip and email campaigns. You need to customize it, okay? Okay. And wouldn't it be great if you could remember all their birthdays and anniversaries and closing dates? And again, a good CRM will do that. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. What you shouldn't be doing in a CRM, and I see this all the time, that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. Okay. So this is where I see that people will go around and do this. They're jumping from one CRM to another. And I've actually talked to agents who have used 7 different CRMs. Well, you know what? You know why it's not working? For number one, and I will talk about this later, top-down business systems are not set up in order for it to sync. And you're going on forums and you're asking people who don't know what CRM to use, and they may be managing multiple databases. Their stuff might not be integrated and working properly, and you're listening to them because Joe said, you know, the Top Producer is the best CRM and you're using, I don't know, Exact. And so then if you know how, you have to export your data, import it into the new one, learn a whole new system. It's actually crazy. It's crazy. Now, there are some reasons to jump, but if you're actually have used 5 or 6, 7 different CRMs, then it's you. It's not the software. Your systems need to be set up in order to work with that software. Okay, I hate to be so blunt, but it's true. I can't tell you how many times people say, no, I have a CRM, I'm using it. And so then we work together and I look at it like, well, you're not really using it. You're managing your contacts in it and they're not talking to anything else. They're a standalone database. And that isn't a great way to run your business. Okay, makes sense, right? Let me just see. Okay, perfect. Let's keep going here. And this is another thing. I actually was talking to someone yesterday. They were paying for 3 different CRMs. I'm like, why? Well, this one does this and this one does that. Like, you know, that doesn't even make sense. Like then find one that is, you know, what are the important things that you want it to do? If you want a CRM to do something really specific, not all CRMs might do it, then use that one and make sure that it integrates properly as well. That if you update your CRM contacts information, it updates all the sources that are attached to that. Okay, that makes sense? How are we doing? Any questions? No questions. Okay, we're going. running multiple databases, and I do talk about this, that, you know, you can't, it's inefficient to run multiple databases because you cannot remember. There's no way you can keep multiple databases up to date all the time. You'll forget something, you'll forget to update something, you'll forget to remind yourself to do something, and then you're embarrassed because it's too late. You were supposed to call last week, then you forgot because nothing's talking to each other, or you're putting information in your calendar, which isn't bad, but you know, it's not great. A good CRM will actually, when you, let's say you add a showing request to the record in a CRM, it should have the ability to say, hey, you know what, add it to my calendar as well. And that is what's cool, right? Like really, really cool. Okay. So running multiple databases, a CRM is not Outlook. If you're an Outlook user, CRM is not Outlook. It is not an Excel spreadsheet. It is not manually writing your stuff down. And it is not your memory. Okay. These things are not a CRM. It's, you know, can it work? Are there successful agents that do this? Yes, but I can almost guarantee that they've lost deals because of this methodology of running their business. Okay. Okay. So let's keep going here. Top things to look for in a CRM, in my humble opinion. Nothing is perfect. We'll recap this. Again, nothing is going to be perfect. Is their support good? Is it easy for you to use? This is another thing I see on forums all the time. Someone will say, I don't know, whatever CRM is the best ever. And then you go look at it and you're, you know, not too technical, right? And you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like, I don't even know where to start. So for you, is it easy to use? Some people who have used tons of different software and they understand kind of how it is. Like for me, I actually can really, like, I don't even have to know how a CRM works. I can go log on. I know where to go and see if it integrates. I know how to look at certain things because I've done this for 30 years looking at software. And so some agent might also be able to do that. So it's easy for them. It does not mean it's easy for you. Okay. It has to be easy for you. And the key thing, I don't even, again, I cannot stress this enough. I don't even look at a CRM unless it integrates properly. And not all do. Not all do. And again, that integration is if I update the CRM contact while I'm working in the CRM, does it update my phone contact, my Outlook contact, my Mac mail contact, my web mail contact? That's all associated with that email. Right? That makes sense? Okay. All right. And then the dollar side. And when people complain about money, I get it if you're a new agent, okay? You have to watch your pennies. But if you've been around for a while and if a CRM is expensive but does what you do, what you want it to do, then who cares? If it does all these things, then really who cares? Because you will more than make up the money in the long term because you'll be using that CRM. I see people complaining about the cost of DocuSign and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that is a game changer in your business, understanding how document signing works. And so it's whatever it is, $200 a year. So what? So I put that really as the last thing. Actually, the integration should be the most important one. That should be top, and the money side, not so much, because if it works, it's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of stress, and it will make you money, right? And you'll be able to keep those relationships alive with your clients, with your past clients, right? That just makes sense. Okay. Any questions, you guys? No questions? Come on. Okay, let's keep going. So when you start using a CRM, or if you're currently using a CRM, you're usually starting fresh. And however, this is what the CRM companies sometimes say, hey, export your data, bring it in from wherever, your contacts on your phone or your contacts from Yahoo or whatever you're using, just export it and import it in. What is that saying? That's now running two separate databases. Now they don't care. They don't care that you don't have your business properly set up in order for it to do a direct integration and sync. They don't care, and nor will they usually tell you. This is what drives me crazy. I kind of get why they don't. They just want your business. Pay us monthly and export your data. Now it's standalone database inside this CRM that you are using. Does that make sense? Okay. Again, they'll say Outlook and will it integrate? So the real problem Okay, you ready? And I talk about this all day long because CRM is a CRM. It should integrate a two-way integration with contacts. Now you're wondering, well, how's that work? So the problem, if yours isn't, now one thing is you have to ask the CRM vendor, does it do a two-way sync? Now, if they say no, I wouldn't use them. But if they say yes, then the problem is that why aren't your contacts syncing? The problem is your foundation of your business. The way that you've set up your business. And I'll talk about this, okay? Because it's really, really important because people are like, well, how can email impact all this stuff? Email is the number one thing that I see over the many years. And again, my specialty, how email flows, how it talks to devices, how it talks to software. And it is the number one thing that will mess you up. Can you agree with me on that? You don't get emails, they go to spam, your clients are confused, you're not marketing yourself because you're marketing for Yahoo or Shaw or TELUS or Comcast or whatever. Does that make sense? So number one thing about email is that it has to be set up properly. So when we look at these email accounts, whether it's a TELUS or Yahoo or Hotmail or Gmail, that is so unprofessional looking, okay? I mean, whether you use it or not, I don't know, but it's very unprofessional looking. Would a bank send an email from a Hotmail account? Would a lawyer send an email from a Hotmail account? But agents do, which again, it's always beyond me that they do this. What looks better professionally? Okay, is this Joe sells homes, just sold, Terry at Kelowna Homes, oh, just ignore that, G Suite, John Smith, because it has to be a professional email. We know that looks better, right? So we want to look at this, at why does it really matter? Because this is where people don't really understand this. Because when I say go set up a business email, please don't just go set up a business email. Because what happens is people will go and do it incorrectly, and now you've mucked it up even further. So I'll give you an option at the end to book a session with me for complimentary. You know, if it works for us to, you know, be able to help you, great. If not, no worries. But what happens is we'll look at what you've done over the course of your life and what emails you're using and how they're configured and what's going on, okay? So let's talk about why this matters. And then you're probably going to go, oh, okay. So those email addresses, generally speaking, now most of the time people have more than one email. You might have 5 different emails now, and that's what we look at, say why? Why do you have 5 different emails? And can we merge them all into that one business email? So you're only managing one set of contacts, one set of calendars, all attached to that business email. On your phone, everything is syncing and integrated. On your tablet, everything is syncing and integrated, and everything just works. But let's say that you have this old technology, and that's what most agents have, is they're running like an old Shaw account or a Yahoo account, and it is old POP or IMAP, okay? So this is what happens on, let's just think about this, okay? So let's say you have MacMail or Outlook, and you've got your phone and your tablet, okay? You've got all these things, and on each one, it one-way downloads the email. And you think, well, why does that matter? Because now on my phone, I answer it and delete it, but it shows still there on all other devices I touch. My MacMail, my Outlook, my tablet. That makes sense? And it's like, oh my gosh, how confusing. So you have to do things multiple times. You have to delete and move, or you don't know whether you reply. Does that make sense? It's very frustrating. That's because you are using old technology for email. And then you go and say, well, do my folders sync on my, you can create folders that are attached to an email, right? But the folders won't sync either. So if you move an email on your phone to a folder, it still sits in your inbox on all other sources. So it's so frustrating. Will it sync your contacts? Nope. If you update a contact on your phone, doesn't update the contact on all the other sources. So you're like, why isn't my stuff working? This is why. All right. And this is why you need to book a call with me. All right. So we will email you the link to do that later. Okay. So sync your calendar. No. Will it integrate with a CRM? No. That direct integration that I'm talking about, will it do it? Nope, it will not. You can sign up. So, and this is where people get confused with the CRM. So I can go sign up on a CRM with any email address. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the integration. Okay? It allows me to sign up with any email address. But when it says, do you want a two-way sync, it will not with that email that is called POP. Okay? Does it come with any cloud storage space? No. Generally speaking, no. And then, you know, a little bit later, there came a new technology called IMAP, which was a little bit better. I was jumping up and down when I heard about IMAP, but it's like, yeah, it now syncs emails. So that means it doesn't just do a one-way download, that if I delete off my phone, it should delete off other sources. Yay, that's awesome. Okay. And does it sync the folders? Yay. So if I move an email on one, it moves to another. Okay. And it does that on all the different devices that I've attached to that email address. But here's where we have an issue. Nothing else works. So do you understand that problem with the old way of doing? And when I say old, it's the new way has been around for, I'm going to say like 10 years or so, but it's still probably new to you, not right? New to you. Let me see questions. Lucky we have the business emails all set up. Good. Hopefully you do have the business emails all set up, because here's the thing. If it's set up on a proper business email, that does not mean a forwarding email to your Yahoo account. That is not what it means, okay? It should, if it's set up properly, all mail syncs, yay, all folders sync, contact sync. So if I update my phone, updates Outlook, MacMail, which I don't actually recommend using, just FYI, I'm just saying that because lots of people do. It updates the webmail contacts and it updates the CRM, because this is set up properly to integrate with the CRM, okay? Your calendar syncs all across the different platforms, yay! Again, it integrates with the CRM, and you get cloud storage space for your stuff, all right? Does that make sense, you guys? Any questions on that? Okay, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, book a call. Ray, I'll put the link in to apply to book a 30-minute session, because it's so, so important. If you're not set up on a proper business email server, okay, your stuff is probably doing this old way, and you're confused. You're like, no, why is my stuff not working and syncing and talking to each other, when it's totally possible with proper business system setup, okay? Where do I set this up? So you can book a call to Ray has just put I think he just put it, yep, I've got two monitors, so that's why I'm looking over here. Ray's just put a link to book a call with me, and what we'll do is we'll spend about 30 minutes and look at your current setup. You'll fill out a little form so I can kind of understand it before, and I'll do a little research on you, okay, to see how you're set up. Because a lot of times people will tell me that they think they're set up okay, but they're not really. What they're doing is they've asked some other IT person to set it up, and they've set it up incorrectly. It happens all the time, especially in the real estate industry. It's kind of interesting, because even if your brokerage has IT people, what I find is that I was an IT person and I would have done the same thing, except now I'm an IT person that also is in real estate. And so what that does is I look at it completely different. So an IT person might set it up on the wrong business server. Okay, so everything would work. If we're looking at this new way, everything would work up until the integrates with the CRM. Okay, it probably comes with drive space too, but it will not work with a CRM without different software to try and integrate it. It won't do a direct integration, okay? Okay, yeah, Tara, I think Ray's given you the link. That's awesome. I think we follow up with you. Sorry, I think we do follow up with you. It's automated through Zoom. You'll get a link tomorrow, I believe. I've got a slide to remind me to tell you that. So in this perfect world of the CRM is that if the gal here updates her phone, it updates everywhere. And if you update, if you do an update on the CRM or tablet or computer, it updates everywhere else. Like everything is updated, which is awesome, okay? So what I want you to do is kind of think about, because if your systems are mucked up and you're not really using a CRM, how much money are you losing? Like, seriously, it's a serious question. You know, if you want, please tell me. I'm not gonna say your name, just do a private message, but we wanna figure this stuff out, okay? Because if you lose 5 deals a year, because you're not keeping in touch, and what I always tell people is, like, let's say let's just do 20 deals a year. You do 20 deals a year, and that's usually with 2 people. So that's 40 people. Gosh, I hate the math part of this. 40 people that, let's say, you don't keep in touch with from 5 years ago, who have, 40 friends each, right? You know what I mean? Like how many people are you missing out? Now, 5 deals lost a year is probably low. But if we take that 5 deals a year lost because you're not keeping in touch with people, and I know we've got different people from all over the place. The average commission is different everywhere, but I'm just using numbers just so you can do your own math. Let's just say the average commission is $5,000. That's $25,000 a year lost because of incorrect systems. So over the course of 10 years, if you've been in business, yeah, you guys, $250,000. So don't tell me it's not worth the time to set up. It is totally worth the time. Do you hear me? It is totally worth the time. Say yes, right? Okay. Do I recommend G Suite? That is what I have. However, still having problems syncing multiple emails, husband, wife, and assistant. Yeah. So it does depend. So thanks, Carrie, for the question. When you've got, here's the issue that I see, and this is what I help agents with and fix, because what happens is if you do think that you got it properly configured, but then things aren't working, Apple messes you up. I am not saying Apple devices are bad. I'm saying Apple, when you're setting up your Apple devices, usually you don't understand what you're doing. Just generally speaking, you're saying yes, yes, yes. And then some of your stuff's in iCloud on the @me and at iCloud emails and attached to that. So that's what we fix when help agents fix. Sometimes on your devices, you'll have multiple email accounts, which means multiple contacts and calendars, and you don't know how to fix it. So that's another issue. So Carrie, you might want to set up a chat with us and we can maybe take a deeper delve into what's going on. Okay. Perfect. So was anyone brave enough to try and figure out, how much money they lost, or even just say, yeah, I know I'm losing money, right? If you don't want to tell me what you think the numbers are. I was talking to an agent, an American agent a couple of weeks ago, high volumes, and he literally said at least $1 million, if not more. We sat down and said, okay, let's figure it out, because he's never kept in touch with people. He'd just do one and done. Deal, one and done. He didn't mean to, but it was one and done. And then he never kept in touch with anybody. And he says, and it was heart-wrenching for him. He said that he would, go see a house of his clients that they sold again with another agent. And why? Because he didn't keep in touch. It's as simple as keeping in touch. Like, I know it's not that simple, but it is as simple. Once the systems are set up, it's as simple as keeping in touch, okay? And not relying on your memory to do so. What's the email you suggest? So book a call. Again, I do not talk about how to set it up here because you will set it up incorrectly. I've seen it time and time again. I don't want you to set up an email incorrectly because it just adds another email incorrectly to your database. Okay, so book a call if you have any issues with this. And yeah, I lost $500,000 based on your formula, crying. Yeah, right, but not anymore. Like I will book a call and then we'll talk and see if we can help you get all your systems set up and working properly, because I'm so passionate about this, and the stuff that you probably hate doing and don't understand is my forte, and I love it. And I actually don't know anybody in the world that does what I do, because I just have a very unique background of how email flows with all devices. I used to be a BlackBerry specialist way back when BlackBerry was Palm Pilots first. I used to specialize in that and how it integrated. They didn't integrate Palm Pilots. They were awesome because they were cool and new at the time. Then BlackBerry came along, so I did a big project with BlackBerry and how it syncs with email servers, and so I love BlackBerry. That was sad when they kind of aren't the same anymore. And then with iPhone and now Android and whatever the greatest next thing is. And for you, here's the thing that I talk about with phones and devices and wireless devices is that it should be agnostic. And by what I mean by that is that if you don't want to use your Apple device anymore because there will be one day some new great technology, it should not matter. Apple users, it matters. Android, not so much. But Apple users, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because all my stuff's now in iCloud. It doesn't have to be for many things, okay? I love Apple, so I'm not saying switch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the configuration of the device has to be proper, okay? All right, let's keep going. Okay, so you have to be open to fixing your current way of doing things. Good, so I can't tell you before anything more serious happens. So you should never have to manually type your clients into a CRM. And I mean, what I mean by that, that's okay. You can manually type, but it can't be a separate database, because you might be in your CRM, add a contact, and then it syncs to your phone, and now that contact's on your phone, okay? And everywhere else that it touches, okay? Okay. Import a spreadsheet into your CRM. If the vendor tells you to do that, now, when I'm working with agents, sometimes we are importing into the CRM, but then we're integrating as well. So once that spreadsheet's imported, it now is on your phone, okay? Again, what I'm talking about here is manually doing it and having a standalone database that isn't talking to things, okay? All right, managing that separate database is so frustrating, okay? So you should never have to do that. We want update once, updates everywhere. How many times have I said that, right? Oh my goodness, okay. So here's the thing, using a CRM isn't the only thing. I actually think in your business, it's everything. I can't tell you when we've been using a CRM for a long time, and it completely changed my business. Because talk about saving time, because you're going to have to spend time creating certain things. So be prepared to spend some time to create drips, to create a specific type of email that you send all the time. But once you do it, that's it, right? You might update it. We actually update, we go and look at our drips. We have a reminder to go review our drips, and literally, Ray, you and I, and Terry, this is my husband, we literally went back through the 10-year drip to see are the links working. We probably do that every 6-8 months just to make sure things are still okay. And if they are, great. If they aren't, we adjust, okay? Because maybe the signature you want different, or maybe you want to say something different, or you found something else that is awesome you want to tell people, you know what I mean? So it's a never evolving thing, but the base drip, once you've edited it, is there, okay? You just have to customize what you want, okay? Makes sense. Okay, so I already talked a little bit about this, but we want to talk about this again because it happens over and over and over again. You know, like, people don't remember who you are because you're not keeping in touch. So how do you keep in touch? Well, here's a couple things that every CRM does do. Again, it's way easier if you're integrated, so that you can say, hey, I want to send an email to all my past buyers, or my past sellers, or past clients, however you've labeled your people, okay? So we call those bulk emails, but they're kind of email blasts. So these two things are the key difference for CRMs that are real estate specific CRMs. I've never ever seen a real estate CRM. Now, there's a lot of crappy ones out there, but I've never seen even the crappy ones not have a default library of drips. Okay, so you can pick from the library and then bring it in, customize it, and then hopefully add each person to that drip. Make sense? Let's see, any questions? No? Okay, perfect. So let's talk about the bulk emails, sending an email blast. Okay, so you can send, like I said, an email blast to a specific label or category inside a CRM. Most CRMs will do this, okay? So this is something similar, and this is something I'm sharing with you, and this is something that when people work with me, we give them these things that you can say. So hope you're well. It'll replace it with Joe. It's been a crazy ride for me in the last 5 years or so, and I've been remiss in keeping in touch. I always tell people, own up to it. When people send this email out, and of course you got to have the systems in place to do this. You got to have the people labeled and categorized, because you could literally, and this is what I help agents with. Once you've got, let's say, you're 50 of your past clients and they've labeled past clients, you personalize this to make it sound like you, and then you send an email blast to the category. So hope you're well, Joe. Hope you're well, Susie. Hope you're well, blah, right? And it goes to everybody. And so it's been a crazy ride, blah, blah. How have you been? It'd be great to grab a coffee or a drink to catch up. What's your schedule like? They do not know that this is an email blast. And I can't tell you that doing this now, working with agents, that people phone me and like, oh my God, I got 3 people emailing back and saying just was thinking about you. Now they know who you are again, right? Because we're thinking of buying or selling. I get so excited about this. Like, this is game changing, my friends. Set up a call so we can get you sorted out and be able to do this with your clients. This is crazy, crazy banana stuff. Do you hear me? Okay. No questions? Do you love this? Hello? This is what I don't like about webinars. Okay. I want to see your cute little faces and I want to hear you talking. I miss conferences too. Okay, let's keep going. So we'll talk about drip campaigns. You'll hear me say drip campaigns is consistently keeping in touch, okay, with people. So we're dripping. That's why they're called drip campaigns. Now, other people might call them, or other software might call them something else. But if you've got a sequential set of emails based on a type of person, that's a drip. Okay, makes sense? Okay, so let's talk about drip campaigns. So this is the formal word explanation. It is a communication strategy that sends or drips a pre-written set of messages to customers or prospects over time. Yeah, right? Makes sense. Okay. So again, let's talk about that 10-year drip. I'm just going to kind of show you what we've done. So, and we've adjusted this a little bit, but this is kind of the drip sequence, what we've done for the 10-year drip. So the first email goes out and on the day that we add them to the drip, and then other things, those, the ones that say 10 days after possession, 20 days after possession, those are based on a date in the record. Okay, so the first email goes out saying, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Here's my link to social platforms if you're on a social platform, or you just delete this email because you're not going to send it. So you would customize this. This is a reminder for us to send a newsletter, add them to the category, because we found a lot of times we would forget to add people to the newsletter category. And then once the drips are over, they don't get this. Does that make sense? Okay. 5 days after possession date, this is how I build my business. And then if you look through this, we've changed some of this a little bit. I should update the slide, Ray. Can you remind me? So, but basically it says, oh, happy first birthday, happy second birthday. In between, we'll give them tips and value. We are not selling them anything. We are giving them value. Everything is about the client, not about your sales. Do not send them listings, just give them value, okay? So every year for 10 years, we talk to the clients, and there's at least 1 or 2 touches a year, okay? So they will remember you. Can you please show the screen for the drip campaigns again? This one, Daniel? So if you end up working with me, I actually give you guys our drip. So that, which is, I know, very nice, because I do sell it. If you don't end up working with me, I sell it as well. But for about $1,000, because this took many, took me a couple months to create this and customize it. And this has been a complete money maker for Terry uses this and my other clients that use this, because I can't tell you how many times Terry's come back and somebody's responded to this email that got sent on the 5th anniversary and saying, oh, hey buddy, now I'm ready to sell. Can we meet? Because he's consistently keeping in touch. Of course they're going to use him. He did a great job the first time. Right? Of course he's going to use them. Like, it's just crazy. Okay. Okay. Continue on. So this is just one of the ones. Now we've adjusted this a little bit, but we still have, so again, this would be, hi Joe, happy first anniversary in your home. How time flies. Congrats. I hope you found the materials I've been sending useful. If I can help you in connection with any home related needs or questions, whether you need a list of trades or a copy of one of my famous checklists, because we're sending checklists throughout as well. Please don't hesitate to call or email me. Helping you with the purchase involves me one of the most important decisions in your life, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you. Yours truly, and then the signature populates because it's in a CRM, and then we give a little joke, okay? And you're looking at that and say, well, I wouldn't say that, then change it. You would change the text. This is what we send because this is how Terry talks. I wouldn't say this either. I'm a little more casual in my speak, and Terry is a lot more formal. So this is from Terry, not from me, okay? Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. All right, the other thing that some of the CRMs can do, which I find like, oh my gosh, if you're doing mail merge to print out, to send documents or whatever your annual thing is to clients or calendars or whatever, right? And you're doing a Word mail merge, do you want to shoot yourself? Because, oh my gosh, or Excel to Word, like it's painful. But some of the CRMs literally, like this one, what we did is we say we're going to send out, I don't know, poppies, let's say, to all clients who have a label past client. That's all we do. We go in, it literally takes 1 minute, pop this up, print off the labels, and we're done. Like, it's amazing, amazing, okay? So that's another thing that a lot of them actually have, is these printing, mailing, and sometimes agents don't know that. So check if you're staying with that, whatever CRM you use. So let's review one more time. No CRM is perfect. I keep saying no software is perfect, okay? It's not gonna do everything that you want. And it is possible to have all your email folders, contacts, and calendars sync on any device that you have, okay? And have it sync with your CRM. All this is possible. You can do email blasts, you can do drip campaigns, you can do probably way more than this, but what I find is that all CRMs probably have a lot more bells and whistles that I'm talking about, but the money maker, my friends, is in this. So yeah, can some track your expenses and your revenues and your lock boxes and your, I don't know, other things, social blasts or whatever. Yeah, but this is a money maker, is actually keeping in touch. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, yes. Are you there still? Yes. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, mail merge, we talked about that. Now, here we are. You ready? The best CRM for real estate agents is, you know I'm not going to tell you. It's the one you're going to use. And again, we already talked about from top down. It's the top down part that is the muck up on most agents' systems. Your foundation is broken. So whatever CRM you use may not be able to integrate properly. Okay. But it really is the one you use. If you just keep paying for it, you're not using, it's like a gym membership, right? It just doesn't make sense. And again, if you do use a CRM and you are actually doing drip campaigns, and is anyone actually doing any of this? I'd be curious, because most of the time people don't. They just use it to manage their transactions or their contacts, which, in my opinion, is a waste of money. If you're just going to do that, you might as well do it on your phone, right? Or on your contacts, okay? So my goal when we talk is going to get you back more time and up to 10 hours or more a week. And filling your funnel with repeat and referral business from proper system setup, right? Like, again, I've talked to so many agents, and it could be $100,000, $10,000, $1 million or more a year from proper system setup and integration with the CRM. All right. Again, when we look about proper business system setup, it's your correct domain and website address, right? It's the correct business email that's attached to that on a correct business email server set up properly. All right. And then it's correct use of the cloud storage. So attached to that is then, can we access all our documents and personal and business on my computer that sit on my computer? Can I access them on my phone, my tablet? I don't have to drive back to the office, because this is all possible. Okay, it's all possible with proper business system setup. Okay, and then of course the correct CRM and set up properly so it integrates with that number 2 thing. Okay, and grabbing links to, let's say you've got a client folder on your computer, you can put that link inside the CRM. So when you're in there looking at, Joe Smith, and you're like, oh, I got to go find it. What do you do now? You've got to go to your computer, try and find it from a dog's breakfast, because you don't save your stuff in the proper storage area. But with the link in there, you tap on it and all your stuff's there. You can go see all your deals with Joe. Okay, makes sense? Okay. Let's keep going. Again, we're talking about this beautiful thing about everything integrated, everything talking to each other. All right. Like, the real cost of you doing nothing is the money you aren't going to make and the missed opportunities. I think this is Walt Disney who says that. And I love this quote. It's so, so true. Okay. All right. So do you have any other questions? Because what we're going to do is you can watch the replay. We'll send you the link to streamlinedagents.com. That's where, oh, I didn't put it there, but we'll copy it over there so you can go there to look for it. Streamlinedagents.com. That is our private Facebook group for agents. You can ask questions there as well. Any questions now, I'm happy to actually answer. Alina, what CRM system do you recommend? So you have to book a call, because it isn't necessarily the CRM. It's how are you set up? And I have to look at how you're set up, how many email addresses you have, what's going on, and the CRM that you use, if you use one, will it integrate? Because I do have a favorite one, which I'll talk, I eventually talk about with my clients who get into me helping them, but I can't really say and without understanding your complete business setup. Okay. Okay. Do realtors usually use the same CRM as their leader? Oh, that's a good question. So no, I don't think so. It's a good question. But what I found is sometimes people say, well, my managing broker said to use this one. Are they the authority on it? And why, and do you have to use theirs? Because is it integrated some way that they can see it? Here's the thing about, and I do talk about this in other webinars, is that you want to own your own data. So I would never use a brokerage email address. I would never use a brokerage, a brokerage CRM that they're owning the data, because right now you are happy and awesome and you love what you're doing, but we do not know 2 years from now an opportunity comes up to switch. How are you getting your contacts and your clients' info? Okay. So when we talk, I'll talk about that, because I've seen it so many times. Agents come to me after the fact. Sometimes I can help, depends. Don't tell your broker you're leaving until I take a look at your systems. Okay. That makes sense, you guys? Did that answer your question? I don't know. You put RFAM, so I don't know what your first name is. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, awesome. Perfect. So Ray just put the apply page again. What'll happen is you'll see kind of a link like this, and you'll book a time. It will then it'll say, oh, actually we need to change this slide too, Ray, if you can remember, because it should show where you can change the time zone. So we switched calendar and we haven't updated this slide, but if you're not in PST time, it'll give you an option to look at your own time zone, book a time. You fill out a really short form so we can actually look at your kind of business system setup before we have the meeting. I do a little bit of research on you. All right. Okay. So next up, let's see who is going to be brave enough. Are you ready? This is my favorite part. Who's good? Oh, Elena, you're brave enough? Okay, you're fast. Okay, good. So can you please put in the chat, I'm going to review your presence. Oh, sorry, this is the right slide. Now I got confused. Ray, can we go over these slides? Okay, thank you. Now this is what it'll look like. And over here where it says America, if you are in a different time zone, you can tap on the red American, it actually says on that. If it says the appointment is no longer available, it's because someone just booked it. So just refresh and pick another time. And let's do this. Now, we might have time to do 2. So if you want to put someone else's in there, because we did add another 30 minutes onto this, because I really want to help you guys be successful. And I want you to see what happens when, okay, Danielle, perfect. So we got 2 people we'll research. So I'm going to show you what a client might do when they research you. So let's just say there was you went and did some listing appointments, and so they're interviewing 3 agents, and then they go and say, okay, I want to go check out Elena and Daniel. So first we're going to look up Elena. So I would go here, Elena, Y-E-L-I-Z-A-R-O-V. And I might just do that, but I might also put realtor. It just depends. Now, you are only showing up because you must be in my Google contacts. That's why you're showing up here. They may not see this. So that's kind of not everyone will see this. Okay. Actually, if I did this a different way, let me just do this in private browsing. So it shouldn't show quite. Oh, no, it will still show. Sorry, it will still show. If I did it in Chrome or Edge, it won't show the right-hand side. Okay. Okay. So perfect that let me get out of here. Sorry, close this. I'm going to go back here. So perfect. This is you, right? Yeah, I think it is, because yep, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the list of stuff that shows up, and I'm just going to right click, open a new tab. You should do this for yourself. Okay. All people who are still here, you should do this for yourself at least every 6 months. So this one I don't really care about because this is the same website. And then it is REW, open a new tab. Realtor.ca, open a new tab. Facebook, open a new tab. Oakland, open a new tab. Okay, I don't know what this is, but I might go look at that, and I might go look at this. Okay. So basically what we're going to do is we would look at what would a client possibly see. All right. So we open this up. There you are, Elena. Great. Let me move my, whoops, sorry. Okay. So whoops. You know what? I changed this. I got to fix this because I changed something on my computer. It was driving me crazy. Okay. So perfect. So that is great. So if we tap in here, and a lot of times what I do is if we tap in here, sometimes it's not configured right by your people. So your people, your website people. So you want to make sure this works. So I would test this. I'm not going to do this right now. I'll test it, make sure it works. And I would tap on Facebook. Perfect. It should open. Oh, there we go. So we already found a link broken. And don't, Elena, thanks for being brave, because a lot of people like forget it, but this is what clients find. So you need to go and fix this. Okay. Right. So, and we go LinkedIn and no, LinkedIn didn't work either. So what we can do is if we look at this and I see what they did, and this is so typical. Who's your My Real page? So they should know better, but anyhow. So when you hover over this, so I'm just going to share some IT knowledge. If you see on the bottom left, you see where it says https www.facebook.com/Elena@, that's your email address. That's not your Facebook. They put the wrong, or you did, I don't know, somebody did. They put the wrong link in there. All right. And then we go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, yep, that's not the right link for LinkedIn either. They put elenarealtor.ca is probably the part that needs to go. Does that make sense, Elena? So you're going to fix this, okay? So now, here's the thing why this is important to review every 6 months, you guys. So let's just say I'm picky, and maybe I'm not as picky as some people might be, but maybe I am. So let's say I go here and I'm like, oh my God, she's got all these broken links. I'm not using her. You don't know how many deals are lost because of this, because of just little sloppy things. Do you see what I mean? And it happens to everybody. And we try and review our websites every 6 months or so, because what happens is maybe you change the name on your Facebook page and you forgot to update here. It happens. I've done stuff and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, I've totally forgot that I changed this and it impacted here. Okay, but by reviewing it at least every 6 months, you're going to catch that stuff. Okay, so you're going to fix that. You're going to make sure the email, hopefully that's your right phone number. Book online now. So if I tap on that, does it work? Perfect. Nice. Nice. Love it. I don't know how much that works or not, because I know we had a calendar on ours for a long time on my husband's website. Nobody ever booked. I'm curious if you get bookings with the book online now. Curious about that. So that's a cool idea anyhow, whether people use it or not. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? And then what we want to do is I'd probably go and look at your bio. That's what I would do. And I would look to see, is it, standard stuff that you didn't really update? Because this is another thing that I see all the time, is that you leave it as the default generic text. And that is not good. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good for search engine optimization. And I don't think yours is, Elena. That's not what I'm saying. So, but you want to go and edit every page that you have on your website to personalize and customize it. One time, my friends, one time. Okay. Oh, look at the cute little kids. So this is what I like. This is what I would look at this and go, oh, isn't that nice? She's got 2 kids, and I'd read this. And so that's awesome. Want to make sure this works, this sign up. And so I look on the bottom left and it looks like it would work for, I think, yep, good. Okay. I would double check that does work. So I would test this, make sure it still works. If I went and filled this out and then you never got notification, oops, not good. Right. So this is another obligation for this one. I don't know what this is. Let's just see. Hold on. Book one today. Let's outline. Okay, that confuses me a bit. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time here. That phone number looks weird. I don't know why that is there. And I don't know if this is the right link for this. It might be, but I want to read all this. But this is what you want to do, right? You want to make sure all the links are correct. It's not confusing for the clients and that everything is working, okay? Okay, so then I'd want to go to testimonials. So, okay, I think you've lost me probably now. I don't know, like, why is there no testimonials here? And one of the things, we talk about this in some of the other webinars when I'm talking to agents, is that if you're using like a third-party testimonial site, and I'll show you Terry's, okay, so you can see what I'm talking about. We have 2 sites right now because he's in transition from working in Vancouver as well as the Okanagan, so I just got to think, it's on both sites, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. If we look at, Where did we put it? Sorry, I haven't looked at his website in a while. Let me just, I think it's up here. Oh, this is so bad. Hold on. Where is it? Testimonials. There we are. Okay. So what happens with a third-party ranking site, which is kind of cool, and again, I'm all about saving time. So what happens here is that every time we get a review, we don't have to manually put it in different spots. It goes to, we use Rank My Agent. There's other ones out there. I love Rank My Agent, but we use Rank My Agent. We direct people there. And then we have what we call a widget. That's a little piece of code that sits here. So literally this review is August 23rd. We didn't update it. The client goes to the Rank My Agent site. The client types the testimonial, and automatically this page is updated. Does that make sense? Rather than having to manually copy things back and forth. But regardless, Elena, let me go back over here. Where was I? Hold on. Where was I? Here. Yeah, so I don't know if this is a new website or not, but this would throw me if I was like, well, where's all the testimonials? Because it shows nothing here. Oh, and you know what? My clients love my service, but I can never get them to write a testimonial. Then you're not doing it right. You know what? I know that Terry, I'm going to give you a tip, is that when you ask for the testimonial, it's when they're super happy, not after they've gotten the keys and they're all mad because the place wasn't cleaned and they think it's your fault, right? You want to give them when they're so happy and they're like, oh, I got my dream home. That's when you ask for the testimonials. I'm going to say we get 99% of the testimonials that people have no problem. Okay, you have to do that. So you want to, you know, fix that or remove it, one or the other, because this makes me think, well, is she new? And new is okay. I don't know. I can't tell, right? Okay. So then I would look at, what else do we got? You got contact here and contact here. So I don't know if you need both unless they're different. Again, we've got these are wrong again. I'm looking at the bottom left. That is incorrect. I would test that this works. And again, is this wrong? Yeah, they're wrong everywhere. So you got to go to each of the spots and have My Real Page as your people. They have great support. So log on to the back end office and say, please update this to the right links. Okay. Okay. And then I would just go through, I don't have time to do everything, but I'd go, okay, member sign up. Why would I sign up? What do I get? Okay. No one's going to sign up unless they know what they're getting. Right. So if I have, you'll see you get a VIP list. Mine is VIP list when you go to agenttechmastery.com and you want to sign up for my newsletter. I say it's a VIP list. You'll know about our webinars and any other free training, and we'll send an email through there. I don't know what I'm getting. What's Real Estate Insider's Edge? It doesn't mean anything to me. Okay. You want to entice me to sign up. Otherwise people won't sign up. Okay. Okay. So now let's go over to here. This is you. So REW is an interesting monster. As long as you can claim your profile, and I believe now they keep changing their way they do things, but if you claim your profile, I think you can at least update phone number and email, and then you have to pay them to do some other bios and stuff. They have changed it recently, but you want to claim your profile so it puts your image and if possible. But check that out, okay? Realtor.ca, that is correct. Here's Oakwin and yours. That looks correct, so it works. That's good. As long as that's your right phone number. And perfect, okay. So this one looks okay. Let's just see what happens if we email. I would test this again. I'm always about testing things because you never know when things don't work on a vendor site. So realtor.ca, I'd test that. Make sure you get the email. And if it doesn't, then you contact realtor.ca and say, how come something doesn't work? Okay. And Facebook, let's go here. Nice, you've got this. Thanks for your interest in my list. Well, so thanks for your interest in my listing. Maybe I'm a buyer, right? Or sorry, maybe I'm a seller. So this kind of throws me off a little bit. It has to be generic because you don't know who's coming here, right? Would you like to ask questions here or message me directly? Okay, so not bad, but again, this is just me. You might think it's fine. Okay, and then we go here and I might say, okay, she's got 113 people. Yeah, it's at Oakwin. There's your website. That looks great. What she post about. I might go down and look and see what you post about. all about real estate stuff. Great. And I can see stuff. So not bad. Hey, not bad. So you've got your info and a lot of times agents don't have the phone number here and the website and stuff, and you should have it on all social platforms. Okay. And then we go to Oakwin. Perfect. Email. That's your phone number. I'm guessing most brokerages on the profile of you are parts where you can have a bio and more awards and other stuff. It's a great picture. So I would go in the back end of whatever, whether you're Remaxed or Oakwin or whoever you're with, and go in the back end and update all those settings, the information in the back end. Okay. Okay. And I think that, let me go back here, that homework, that's Oakwin. Yeah, I don't think this one matters as much, but if you do use homework, you might want to update that and claim the profile. Again, when they claim profiles, sometimes they want you to pay, but usually there's a free version. Realty Link looks good and your site's good. Your phone number's good, I think. Realty Link doesn't have a picture, so you might want to put a picture there. But does that make sense? So that's just a quick look at, you know, how a person might find stuff. And that very first thing about going to your website and certain links are broken, right? We want to fix that. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, we have time for one more for sure. Daniel, were you the brave guy? Okay, so do you want me to look at yours, Daniel, or what do you want to do? Since it's under construction, but we'll see what happens when we do a little research. Okay, perfect. So let me close Elena. Elena, you're good, I think. You'll be able to go back to this and watch it on the Facebook page and then go and fix all this stuff. I'll close my lovely husband's stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to look at Daniel. So Daniel just switched brokerages. So this is what you said, right? Yeah. So Daniel Yang. Yeah, so Sutton to EXP, is that right? Let me just see. Oh, see, now this is where, because you got a common name, I guess, and you must be in my contacts too. Daniel Yang, and this is where I might type realtor because there's a common name and he's a dentist apparently. Okay. Okay. So then I would right click, open up, right click, open up, right click, open up, right click, open up. And right, oh, were you team 3000? Is that you? I don't know if that's you. We'll look at this in a minute. Again, this might be some other Daniel Yang. I don't know if it's a common name or not. Okay, so let's now, it's me. Okay, cool. There you are. Okay. So okay, good. So we've got the EXP, Realtor.ca. Realtor.ca pulls information, generally speaking, from MLS. And so, but sometimes I know when Terry switched to another Remax brokerage, that this wasn't updated. And Ray, how many times it was REW. I can't remember who we had to keep. Who was that we had problems with? Ray?
REW.
REW. Okay, they said the information is pulled from MLS, and it probably took us a month to get them to change to the right brokerage because it was still pulling old information. So I don't know. Anyhow, it's all fine now, but you have to pay attention to this, right? Because you have to, by the rules and regulations, you cannot advertise that you're with one brokerage when you're with another. I'm sure that they would give you a deadline by 30 days. You have to have everything fixed, but we want to look at this. That's perfect. Office website. So that's EXP one, realtor website. So let's just go here. So is that going to be your website, Daniel? Or is that just a random website? Yeah. Okay. So you're in the works of creating this. What I would do, you guys, this is just a little tip, is if you're in the middle of switching things up. So let's just take Daniel's as an example. So let's say this is going to be your website, Canada dash. I don't love the dash, by the way. People won't remember that. Canada-realestate.ca. What I would do is every single place that you buy a domain, you can just have a page. I would say page under construction, or put some information about you, just a temporary page while you get this working. Because again, you don't want me as a client to go here and go, let's check him out. I'm looking between him and Elena, and okay, doesn't even have a website. You know what I mean? You want to, this is what it looks like. Now that doesn't mean that's true. Okay, that makes sense. So I would do at least a one pager while you're getting your website built. And also, are you using like one of the real estate website hosting companies? Or are you building it yourself, or what's the deal with the website? If you want to type that in, and I'll just keep going here. Contact me, email. Hopefully this all see this. I'm guessing, yeah, you were with Team 3000 before. Okay, awesome. So this still shows Team 3000. So you want to make sure, you know, if you just did it, it does take some time for everything to update. But we literally, we go, when Terry switched, so this is where it's fresh in our mind because this has just happened in May, and we're still saying update it, because they're not updating it everywhere. Let me just add this, just a sec, hold on, copy. Daniel, put a link in here. Let me put that here, and we'll come back to that. So sorry, if you are using this, great. If you're not, you need to remove it from the places that it is linked to. Okay, so then we'll go here, contact, visit my website. Yeah, so that's going to be to the same spot. Remember, I'm looking down at the bottom, canada-realestate.ca, so I don't necessarily have to click on it. Okay, so that's good. And then we go here. So this is Homeworth again. I don't know. Again, you claim your profile. They usually have free versions just to be able to update usually the image, email, and phone. Okay, but then if you want to do other things, it's a paid service on these types of things. You're still showing up, kind of, not really, but in Team 3000, they must have removed you, so it's populating nothing. Then we go here with Realtor Garage. I don't know what the Realtor Garage is, but no idea what this is. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. You go to Yelp. Well, so this might be, so, oh, and here you used to have this too. So this is you, I'm guessing. Is it you? Did you used to be with Sutton, and then Team 3000? Okay. So you can see how I, as a possible client, I'm getting confused. I'm like, I don't know, is this the same guy? Why is none of the links work? Is it this Canada-Real Estate, or is it, what was the other one? DanielYang.ca. None of them work. And then you gave me a link for this one. Okay, I'm gonna just do it. That's not good. Why is it not? Attackers might be trying to, yeah, I do know why this, but usually, just a sec. Is this set up? The Yang, this one, Daniel Yang, or did I spell it wrong? Okay. Yeah, so someone's saying, who's the photo? Which person is Daniel? I agree. I don't know from that other one. This one, I think you're talking about Linda, right? Yeah, I agree. When I looked at that, I'm like, I don't know who's Daniel. Why is there two people? That confused me as well. Thank you for bringing that up, because is it a team? If it is, great. But if it isn't, who's the guy? I don't know which one. Which one is you, Daniel? Are you the guy on the left or the right? We want to know, because we can't see it, right? Me and my son. Okay, so I'm guessing you're on the left. Okay, but we wouldn't know that, right? So yeah, it's a great picture, but why is there two people on there? Okay, you know that. All right, so that's a quick overview. Any other questions, you guys? We're able to kind of look at Daniel. I think you're in the middle of things, so that's why, you know, it's all over the place. So hopefully once you've switched, it's all good, okay? And are we good? Okay, so we've done a Q&A. There was no other questions. We will send a follow-up email tomorrow. You'll get it around the same time. And then our next webinar is going to be delve more into the email side, okay? So, but I would suggest that you, you know, book a session with us. You'll have the link tomorrow to book a 30-minute consult with us as well. What third-party testimonial software do you recommend? Oh, that's a good question. So we are using, so I will tell you about that software because I think it's phenomenal. And this is, again, if we have any American friends here, this is a Canadian it's called Rank My Agent. And when I recommend, we're just switching our website stuff over as well. But on the bottom here, under darcitalks.com, eventually everything's going to be under Agent Tech Mastery, but I'm in the middle of switching everything over as well, and it's a bit of work. So for now, under here, it says more agent resources and apps, and you can go here. Oh, Ray, we have to fix this. Ray, can you make note of this to remove this, because we're not doing this for people anymore. Down here, thank you. But down here says buying a domain, investing in an email, which I want you to book a session because I don't want you to do it wrong. Get a CRM, again, set up that consult. But down here, rank my agent, because let me just see here. It's $119 annually. It's totally worth it. We get it. Well, Terry gets it because he's with Remax. But for $119 annual, it's worth it. Like Terry alone from Rank My Agent, because people find him on there. Random people find him on there. He made $50,000 in gross commission last year just from Rank My Agent, just from that third-party ranking service. Okay, so important. Here, I'll put this link in here, you guys, in our chat. Oh no, hold on. I sent it to Ray. I didn't mean to send it to Ray. Just a sec. There. Okay. There's the link to the apps that I recommend. Can I advertise with you? I'm not a realtor yet. Can you advertise with me? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So I don't do advertising. I just help agents, and I also have a program to help agents get their systems in order, and I want to give value back to the community because it's awesome. All right. Okay, so are we good? I don't know what you mean. So, all right. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. And this, the replay will be on the Facebook group, and it's also on my Facebook page. And it's also, you'll get a link tomorrow. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you very, very, very much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure. And we'll see you hopefully in September. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.